Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. This is Splitgate Arena Warfare, which has an open beta right now on Steam and will be available the 22nd, so in approximately 2 weeks. So Splitgate is a shooter that feels very much like the old school Halo games. It's this kind of course, as the name suggests, an arena shooter where you will move around and play like an arena shooter. Now, is this game worth your time and potentially worth some of your money? Well, it's quite easily answered with this if you don't want to watch the full review. If you've already made up your mind that, well, arena shooters and Halo and stuff like that is just really not my gameplay style, that's not what you like in an FPS game, then will this sway you over to that side? No, it won't. It is an arena shooter with that feels very much like an old school Halo game, and well, it has some modern twists to it, and it has modern graphics and audio and so on, but it isn't like a revolutionary gameplay that will sway over people that don't like this type of gameplay loop. That is really the gist of it. Of course, if you are an old school Halo player, you played Unreal Tournament, Quake, whatever you played, and you like that kind of game, or you're just new to the scene, you want to try and see what an arena shooter is, you might have heard a lot of people talk about the glory days of Halo, MLG, and so on, you want to try it out for yourself, well, then this game might just be it. Even if you're just waiting for Halo to come out on PC, this game might just be something that you want to try out, as it right now, as it is free to play, and you can just go and download it on Steam. Now, with no further ado, let's really start the review outside of that. And I want to say, this is my very first review here on YouTube. So, down in the comment section, can you tell me what I did good, what I did bad, and what you guys would like to see in future reviews, so I can try to improve, as I want to like to try to do this more. And, of course, as always, if you are an old school or a novice and you have played this game a little bit, and you have your opinions on it, please come back and tell people what you guys think in the comment section. That way we can help each other out to decide, is this worth your time, what we think about it, is this worth your time, is this really worth their money potentially in the future, and well, that's really something that we want to try to do here as a community. Now, with no further ado, a like on the video helps out the channel, and let's really just begin. So let's start on top of the round, and that is the graphics. The graphics is, well, really fucking good actually. They look very nice and clean. The maps are different and aesthetic, which is very important in an arena shooter that has a very repetitive gameplay loop. To have maps that look different, feel different, and so on is really nice. It does not cost in performance, though. That is what I was very much surprised about. This game runs really smoothly. I have not really had any like heavy FPS drops or anything that really affected me during firefights, even when like both teams practically were gathered on the same spot. Not really anything that really drops down my FPS or anything or makes my aim off in any way, sense, or form, which feels really good. And it's really nice to see that even, you know, this is something game that's probably able to run on most PCs even with outdated hardware. I currently run this game at the highest graphics setting with 100 plus, or sometimes up at 144, managed to keep it stable between 100, 144-ish FPS, it felt like, with a GTX 1070, an i7 processors, and 16 gigs of RAM. Now let's talk about the audio, which is almost just as important as the visuals. Well, this is, well, decent enough for competitive title. You can hear what's going on around you, if there's gunfire, who is fighting where. You can also hear how many approximately there are, what guns they're using, and so on. If they are just use utilities such as nades and so on, you can hear most of that kind of stuff going off, and that's really nice, as it doesn't make, as essentially it gives you the spatial surroundness to perform well in this game and play this game optimally, so you can hear if some people is fighting behind you, so you can turn around and help your team out and so on, which is nice to see. However, it does lack some of that oomph in the guns, if you guys know what I mean. So essentially, if you think games like CSGO with the AWP, or in Halo back with their old sniper rifles and so on, if you think like the AK, the M4 guns from COD, gun from Battlefield, even Overwatch and so on, some of these guns lack that kind of feel that you're firing a powerful firearm, and sometimes almost feel like you're shooting BBs. It has something to do with the time to kill, but when you shoot a gun, it doesn't sound very satisfying as it would do in other games. So it is a little bit of a downer, as well, the gameplay can be quite addicting. Now let's really talk about the gameplay here, which is the most important. The audio and the graphics of course helps out, but in the end the game can be as pretty as a bird and sound as good as a metal concert, but if the gameplay is just, well, boring, it doesn't really help. As I said, it is an arena shooter. It feels very much like Halo, so you really have your standard stuff. You have a sprint, a shoot, and a scope, which, to be honest, is more like a zoom than an ADS, right? Bringing back again, back to that kind of Halo style of vibes. You have a jump, a crouch, and a jetpack for a little bit of extra mobility and verticality, and the twist of the modern shooter, which is a portal gun. Now, the game really goes like this. You move around the map, or, well, should I say arena, that you spawn into with your trusted loadout. Everybody starts the same, just like good old arena shooters. You have a pistol, which is a little bit more like a sniper, if you ask me. A rifle, which works better in close quarters, medium range, which is full auto. 2 nades, a jetpack, and your portal gun, and whatever skins you have of your choosing. In the arena, you will play whatever objectives is on the table. Is it TDM, King of the Hill, or, you know, a capture and hold this zone style of game mode? That's really whatever you do. Whenever you win or lose, you are sent back to the lobby and you queue for another game, and that's really the gist of it. That's kind of what you get out of it. How is the gunplay though? The gunplay is standard arena shooter. You hipfire mostly. It has this kind of hipfire with not really that much, what can I say, recoil to it. It's a slight recoil on it, but it's more about, you know, doing really good heavy aim tracking and so on. And it's what some people would call a true FPS. You do heavy aim tracking, controlling your spread of whatever gun you have. Some guns doesn't have spread and are just super accurate, and it does rely on slower time to kill. That is kind of one of the big selling points of this kind of game. Slower time to kill, so that it kind of shows the skill in between, as you will be facing off a lot of 1v1 duels against other players, and at that point it's whoever lands and the most amount of headshots and the most stable amount of body shots that wins. Supposed to emphasize your aiming skills far over, you know, that you have a gun that he doesn't have, that's just overpoweredly broken and you can, you know, 2-tap him to the body. Instead of those kind of more lucky shots, this is far more about being consistent with your body shot and headshot style of gameplay. The movement is, well, it's fast, it's kind of a little bit of a floaty, and of course you have your jetpack for some extra angles, some better jumps and so on, but just gives you a little bit more control over the character and makes it not feel as, what can I say, boring and linear. This does do it. You can fly all over the place. You will be moving around the map, sprinting and so on, jumping and taking high grounds, taking crates, taking different angles, and therefore creating kind of your own routes throughout the map. And I think that the maps do very much complement this game, so it seems like they are very competent in what they have been doing in the way that they designed the map to complement the movement. Of course, the selling point and kind of the spice of this game is the portal gun. And really how this works is you have a portal gun equipped on you. Everybody has that. Q and E to deploy each of the kind of holes, and it works as you would expect. You can only see through your own portal, meaning you can drop a portal and see through it. However, everybody can jump through everybody's portal, and everybody can shoot through everybody's portal. So if somebody just dropped the portal and ran through it, you can still shoot them through that portal and secure the kill. It's not an instant escape. However, you can only see through your own, meaning you can use it either as a spying glass to check where people are, or you can put it up in an area, and as soon as somebody moves past it, you can shoot them, jump out, and chase that kill to get an advantage in your firefight. You do carry momentum, so if you drop it on a surface below you and you jump through it, you will be launched out, kind of Portal 2 style. And before you start wondering and start thinking that this game is going to be very frustrating with people doing exactly that, dropping portals on walls, camping them until you move to the objective, and then shooting you, jumping out, and have an advantage, you can throw your nades at the portal, and essentially that will shut down the portal and just close it there and then, so that they're not gonna get any value out of it. And all of this overall gives it a very good feeling. There's nice flow through the combat, the way that you move and control the character. The FPS is as raw as it gets. It is really just straight up, down to earth, tracking and aiming with your guns, hit-fire style, what's it called, hit-scan style. And, well, that's really what you get out of the gameplay and the movement of this game. The content is standard arena shooter. You will have your standard loadouts as we explained above. However, then there will be maps straight around on the fields. There are in total 9 guns in the game. You have, of course, your pistol and your assault rifle, which you start with. Then you have what's called a battle rifle, which is a burst rifle, a plasma rifle, which fire these kind of small blue balls of death, a railgun, a rocket launcher, a shotgun, an SMG, and a sniper. Very standard stuff, but it's just how it goes. That is what you will be running around with and playing around with as you move around on the maps. The maps are 6 of them. As I said, all are visually different and pleasing and has a different kind of flow to it, even though they in the end all feels like decently balanced and good arena shooter maps, at least out of my experience of what I have felt playing this map. So is this game really worth your time and experience? Well, the short answer is, if you're interested in games like this, stuff like that are arena shooters, is more hardcore, slow time to kill that emphasizes really just straight up mechanical aim and tracking and mouse control with a fast moving floaty system, well, then this game might be for you. You can create some really fun and engaging angles, and there's some really nice meta strategies with the Portal, and that's what I think. It looks good, it runs smooth, there's good audio, and the gunplay feels satisfying if you like that type of gunplay. Personally, I'm not a fan of this type of arena shooter. It's not really for me. And that's just a personal preference. But because I get really bored with the repetitiveness of the route, there's no customization in my loadout, there's not much I can do with it. And for me, therefore, it's not really something that bites into me, even though I have been enjoying the time I've been spending with it. So if you are interested in that kind of gameplay, then this might be for you. As an overall, I give this game a 5 out of 10 as a guy that doesn't like the arena shooter style. If I did like it and I was like a far better like arena shooter guy, I would probably give this a 7 out of 10. It has really good graphics and decent audio, even though it does lack some oomph. You do have a good core gameplay mechanics with a little bit of twist and a little bit of extra and excellent map design. Personally, I think this is a game that you should definitely check out if you're interested, or at least trying out games of this caliber. But that, as of course, that I've given you guys my thoughts, I've given you guys some facts about the game, and I would like to hear your down in that comment section below. As always, like the video if you like, dislike if you didn't, subscribe with bell notification, as YouTube hates giving notifications to subscribers. As always, guys, please take care of your health, stay positive, and I love you guys very much. My name's been Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.